When we made our top 10 best G.I. Joe vehicles video back in 2022, we promised you that we'd follow it up with a list of the 10 best Cobra vehicles, and it's finally here. In the early days of G.I. Joe: A Real American Hero, the Cobra forces were instantly recognisable due to their royal blue uniformity, and at that time, most of Cobra's motorised fleet followed a similar design, with many of the vehicles sporting a red and black colour scheme. While these early designs are certainly my favourite, I can still appreciate the more outlandish concepts that began appearing as the line expanded throughout the 1980s. So when compiling this list, I made sure to not simply fill it with all the iconic early Cobra vehicles, as I want to show my appreciation for all the different eras of G.I. Joe. Initially, Hasbro didn't give Cobra much love in the transport department, as the enemy faction didn't receive a single vehicle in 1982. Yet as the line progressed and the popularity of Cobra grew, the enemy's motor pool expanded into a truly impressive array of mechanised fighting vehicles. So while it may have taken us over 2 years to get here, let's finally take a look at the top 10 best Cobra vehicles. Now sit back, relax, and stay tuned.
Come with me, toy fans.
Hey toy fans, my name is Tony and welcome back to the Analog Toys YouTube channel. And kicking us off in the number 10 slot is the Fang. This single-seater gyrocopter was used frequently in the G.I. Joe cartoon. And while many of the toys that appear on these top 10 lists are often the bigger vehicles with the most play value, I still like to recognise some of the smaller, more affordable items. Equipped with 4 air-to-air rockets, a bomb and a nose-mounted rapid-fire cannon, the Fang is quite heavily armed for such a small craft. It also comes in that signature black, red and grey colour scheme that I've already confessed to loving. Despite being mass-produced, it can be quite difficult to find Cobra Fangs in mint loose condition, due to the red roll bar that sits over the engine, either being broken or missing entirely. Being sold at a lower price point meant that many of us had the Fang in childhood, and even though I do have a lot of love for the Cobra Ferret, the Fang earns its place on this list as the best small vehicle in the Cobra fleet, because it was just so much fun to play with back in the day.
You are under arrest! Throw down your weapons!
The number 9 entry on our list is the Mumba. The Cobra Mumba is a supersonic twin-rotor attack helicopter, and this is the last G.I. Joe toy that I ever received in childhood, before my interest quickly shifted away to icky things like girls. The Mumba is chock full of play features, such as the twin rotors that can be operated by turning a knob, and the main bomb that is dropped on the G.I. Joe target with the flick of a lever. It also comes with an impressive array of weaponry, including 2 additional bombs, and the staggering total of 8 missiles. The Cobra Mumba is piloted by the Gyro Viper, and this is a very nicely designed action figure, with the map printed on his thigh being an outstanding little detail. The Gyro Viper can be situated in the central cockpit, which is covered by a red translucent canopy. And he also comes with a removable helmet, that kinda reminds me of the one worn by Luke Skywalker when he is first learning the ways of the Force aboard the Millennium Falcon in the first Star Wars movie. Yet the coolest feature of the Cobra Mumba is that it comes with 2 detachable attack pods. And when I was a kid, I just loved getting 3 vehicles for the price of 1. These single-seater pods can be detached from the Mumba to ward off attacking Joes, while the main helicopter focuses on its bombing run objective. Taking the number 8 slot on our list is the Cobra Hiss. Hiss stands for Highspeed Sentry, and this is arguably the most iconic Cobra vehicle in the entire range. This piece of tracked armour is tall and narrow, with a driver's cockpit situated at the front and a rotating gunner's turret located atop the main fuselage. This turret is armed with twin 90mm cannons, and additional Cobra troops can be carried into battle by riding on the rear platform. The Hiss drivers are selected from the best and most evil of Cobra's recruits, and this action figure is an excellent addition to the faceless legions of enemy soldiers. The Highspeed Sentry has also been afforded multiple toy variations over the years, with my personal favourite being the recoloured Palitoy Action Force edition, that was renamed the Hyena, and this toy came included with a UK exclusive version of Destro, who was also renamed as Red Jackal. Even though the Hiss is the most instantly recognisable vehicle in the Cobra fleet, it didn't rank higher on this list due to the toy being little more than a plastic shell with very few play features. Coming in at number 7 we have Cobra's floating swamp cruiser, the Water Moccasin. This fan-powered attack craft appeared frequently in the G.I. Joe cartoon, in scenes involving the Dreadnought Swampy hideout. And while this is a relatively small toy, it has a ton of cool features, such as removable weapon bin covers, a rotating turret with an elevating machine gun, and a rear-firing surface torpedo that is mounted underneath the hull. The pilot of the Water Moccasin is Copperhead, a former speedboat racer with a weakness for gambling, and this action figure has a helmeted design that features a very unique colour scheme, and collectors should note that the translucent panel covering his cockpit is often missing on loose examples. It can also be challenging to find the toy with the steering vanes intact. While the Cobra Water Moccasin isn't the only aquatic vehicle that's going to appear on this list, it is a suitable entry at this point thanks to its wonderful design.
The Water Moccasin! It's our only chance to escape!
At number 6 on our list of the best Cobra vehicles is the Stinger. The Night Attack 4-wheel drive Stinger is a remodelled version of the G.I. Joe Vamp from 1982, with the Cobra edition being coloured in black and grey. Yet unlike the Vamp, the Stinger version is fitted with a roof and opening gull-wing doors. The twin machine guns have been exchanged for a rack of 4 ground-to-air rockets. A new spiked ram bar gives the front of the Stinger a very aggressive look. Yet by far the best upgrade is the addition of a rear platform that allows the Stinger to transport up to 4 Cobra troops. The Stinger driver is also one of the nicest redecoed figures in the range, as Hasbro took the swivel arm Cobra officer and gave him a grey uniform with black equipment and red embellishments. The Night Attack Stinger is my all-time favourite Cobra vehicle, and while these top 10 lists are always subjective, I do try to be somewhat objective in my choices, and that's why the Stinger didn't rank higher, because even though I love the aesthetics of this toy, there are other vehicles in the range that pack in far more play value.
Real thoughtful of those jokers to leave their Jeep parked with the keys in it.
Taking the temperature down a notch at number 5, we have the Cobra Wolf. Released in 1987, the Winter Operational Light Fighting Vehicle, or Wolf for short, is a medium-sized tracked snowmobile designed to support Cobra's troops in Arctic warfare. Armed with a pair of removable ski torpedoes, a rotating twin cannon, and an elevating missile rack, the Wolf packs quite the punch in the weaponry department. The Cobra Wolf can transport troops into battle on its side rails, which can also be detached, becoming a sort of snowboard type piece of equipment. Tandem cockpits with opening canopies carry a driver and a navigator, and the Wolf comes packed in with the Ice Viper. This action figure is equipped with a removable helmet, and he is armed with a pair of Psi Ninja weapons, and the figure has the really awesome feature of being able to attach these blades to his thigh pads. The Wolf was the first Arctic vehicle to ever be issued to the Cobra forces, and it meant that us children finally had something that could go into battle against the G.I. Joe Snowcat. The Cobra Wolf is also the perfect vehicle to support the Snow Serpents, who, being released in 1985, had to fight the Joes for a full 2 years without any mechanised support.
They're surrendering? Why fight? We'll be freed when Cobra conquers the world!
Coming in at number 4 is the absolutely bonkers Cobra Bug. The Bug is a bulbous looking 6-wheeled submersible assault craft that features multiple cockpits and opening hatches. A dome covered armoured turret is located at the rear of the Bug, where an opening hatch allows access into a small troop carrying area, while other Cobras can ride on the side mounted propulsion units. On either side of the Bug are 2 more opening hatches that reveal hover skis, which can be deployed when the enemy wants to send out an underwater scouting party around Cobra Island. A further hatch located at the front of the Bug provides access to tandem seating for a pilot and navigator, and this is where the Secto Viper sits when driving the Cobra Bug. Secto Vipers wear pressurised diving suits fitted with clear dome-shaped helmets that are in keeping with the overall design of the vehicle, especially the removable submarine pod. This 2-seater craft has a clear dome windshield that opens upward to allow access to the cockpit, and the vehicle is driven through the use of powered fans and steering vanes. The design of the Cobra Bug is certainly a lot more outlandish than earlier Cobra vehicles, yet it has a really well engineered complex construction that is a ton of fun to play with.
G.I. Joe will return after these messages.
man Cobra Island. And in the Phantom, we're invisible to their radar.
Nobody beats G.I. Joe!
It's an attack! There's nothing on the radar.
Call up the box, you fool! Over the land and deep down below, Cobra Bug's got an eye out for Joe!
The Bug may control the beaches, but the Rolling Thunder rules the land. Yo, Joe!
Nobody beats G.I. Joe, a real American hero!
Will Cobra Island be Cobra's last stand? Find out in Marvel Comics. Now, back to G.I. Joe.
As we get closer to the top slot, the number 3 entry goes to Cobra's ground attack jet, the Rattler. Somewhat based on the A-10 Thunderbolt, the Rattler was released in 1984, and this was the first large-sized Cobra vehicle to appear in the range. Piloted by Wild Weasel, who sits in the main cockpit, the Rattler can carry another Cobra operative in the rotating turret, and this aircraft has been designed for vertical takeoff and landing by way of the rotating wings and turbines. The Cobra Rattler is also incredibly well armed, carrying a nose-mounted jawbreaker cannon, 6 bombs and 8 missiles, and I love the addition of the battle damage play feature, where a couple of panels can be swapped out for one sporting bullet holes. The Rattler is a truly beautiful toy with a wonderful design, and it could have taken the number 1 slot on this list if it weren't for this aircraft being so damn fragile. I mean, those retractable landing gears can snap off just by looking at them sideways.
Uh-oh! Looks like we're not rid of the flying snakes yet!
The number 2 entry is the toy that I received from my parents as my big Christmas gift in 1987, the Cobra Mumba Hydrofoil. This heavily armed attack boat can carry numerous Cobra troops, and Hasbro designer Ron Rudat has admitted that when he was creating this toy, he was inspired by the powerboat scene in the Miami Vice television show. This vehicle takes its name from the unique play feature, where you push a lever forward to deploy the hydrofoils, allowing the Mumba to raise its hull out of the water and travel at much faster speeds. Adorned with a vast array of weaponry, the hydrofoil has a pair of side-mounted torpedoes, depth charges that can be deployed at the rear, multiple machine gun positions, and a rack of missiles that elevate out of the forward launch position at the push of a button. 2 weapon storage areas are hidden underneath the rear deck, and situated above the bridge is a rotating machine gun turret. Man, Cobra really did love their rotating turrets, didn't they? Hydrofoils are piloted by lampreys, and these troops have spent at least 1 year as operational Cobra eels. Lampreys is another very nicely designed action figure, and they each come armed with a Sten gun that includes a sling, so they can stow the weapons whilst driving the Mumba. The Cobra Hydrofoil is one of the largest enemy vehicles in the G.I. Joe range, and the toy is simply jam-packed with play value, making it thoroughly deserving of the number 2 spot on this list. Before we reveal our top pick, let's take a look at a couple of honourable mentions. Firstly, we have the Firebat, and while everyone loves this nimble one-man fighter, the only way to purchase it back in the 1980s was to buy the Terradrome playset, which means it wasn't sold as a vehicle and therefore doesn't qualify for this list. The other honourable mention goes to the Thunder Machine, and even though I love the Mad Max inspired design of this toy, the Thunder Machine is a Dreadnought vehicle and not a Cobra vehicle, even if it does sport the enemy logo on the armoured windshield. And so coming in at number 1 is the all-time best Cobra vehicle, the Night Raven. With its sleek jet black design, the Cobra Night Raven S3P is easily the coolest looking vehicle in the entire range, and this toy was clearly inspired by the mythical MiG-31 Superfighter seen in the 1982 Clint Eastwood movie Firefox. Featuring an incredibly well detailed sculpt, the Night Raven is the longest of all the jets in the G.I. Joe line, and it has a bunch of very well engineered play features. The main cockpit is visible through the red translucent glass, yet unlike the other aircrafts in the range, the Night Raven does not feature an opening canopy. The cockpit can be lowered instead, allowing the pilot and navigator to board the craft at ground level. These enemy fighter jets are piloted by Stratovipers, and this action figure features a black and grey colour scheme with red accents that matches the aircraft's design. There are opening engine panels, rear-facing twin cannons situated behind the cockpit, and retractable landing gear that can be manually operated by a lever, with the activation of this function also deploying the rearward air brakes. A pair of rear-facing missile pods are used to protect the Night Raven from pursuing G.I. Joe aircraft, and a hidden bomb rack can be lowered from the belly of the jet. Yet of course all the best Cobra vehicles come included with another smaller craft, and the Night Raven is no exception. The piggyback jet can be attached to a small fin at the back, or deployed for reconnaissance operations, and this aircraft features a sideways opening canopy, and it must be flown with the pilot lying in the prone position. The Cobra Night Raven S3P is a bold and deadly supersonic jet, and with a truly beautiful design, a wealth of enjoyable play features, and some of the very best engineering to appear in the G.I. Joe toy line, the Night Raven is absolutely worthy of the #1 slot on this list.
Bogey sighted at 3 o'clock.
So that's our list of the 10 best Cobra vehicles. Did you agree with our picks? Please leave us a comment in the section below, and if you enjoyed this video, you can click the links over here to check out some of our other top 10 videos. Or subscribe to the channel by clicking down here, or consider supporting us on Patreon, where you'll get access to hours of exclusive content. I'm Tony from Analog Toys, and yo Joe.